Hi, welcome back to the Counterfeit Emotions podcast. I'm Curtis Morley, and I'm an emotionologist. And today I am so excited to introduce you to Dallin Harmon. We are going to have an incredible conversation around surrender, around resistance, and what happens in our souls when we feel resistance. We're going to look at how to change belief systems. And as well, we're going to take a look at how all of that changes life as a dad, changes our connection, and how we show up. So, Dallin, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks
You
for having me.
you've been around a little bit. You come from a family of 9 kids,
Yeah, I have
right?
8 siblings.
8 siblings, and all of them seem to have really gone out into the world and done some pretty impressive things.
Yeah,
And
yeah. My siblings, were just a bunch of entrepreneurs. Been starting companies and doing companies since, gosh, my first company I invested was my brother's company when I was like a 16-year-old.
oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
which one was that?
They failed.
The one we haven't heard of.
Yeah, the one you haven't heard of. They were trying to be family learn. He was too early.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, or family search, I guess they call it. They family search.
The
Yeah,
ancestry.com.
Ancestry. Yeah, Ancestry on Family Search. He was trying to do that,
Uh-huh.
but he was just too early. He was just by a few years.
Hmm.
He ran out of money.
Wow. Yeah. And then you yourself have done tech startups, Cove, VidAngel,
Yep.
and well, your brothers have done Angel Studios. Yeah, take us through your journey to get to today, and pause before you get to the last
Yes.
3 years because that's where we want to focus the main conversation.
Right. Main focus. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I sold my family struggled to provide, my dad struggled to provide most of my life. And so as a result, all the siblings did different businesses to try to survive, right, and provide.
To supplement
Yeah,
the family
supplement or even have their own income, right?
Mm.
Because my parents didn't have the resources in order to provide for us. So like I remember distinctly earning my own money so I could diversify my food consumption.
What does that look like?
Yeah, like I was eating rice and beans and soups almost every day.
And so
Like
you
food
wanted,
storage. And so I would like go earn money so I could buy different variety of food myself.
what did that look like? Twinkies or?
No, I was a kid as much as anybody. I'd buy treats and stuff, but I also would buy food I wanted to eat, like I want to eat this type of meal. And so I got good at making certain types of baking goods and I make myself cookies and I make myself like desserts and I make myself like a noodles. I don't know. Like I was just a young kid. I just remember wanting diversity. And so, yeah, that was our life growing up. And as a result, I had brothers that started like window cleaning businesses, landscaping businesses. I also helped with like potatoes. We sold potatoes door to door
In
Utah.
wow.
We would pack up boxes of potatoes, 50-pound boxes of 20-pound boxes of potatoes, and load up a whole truck and then drive to Utah. And then over a weekend, we would sell as many as we could. Usually sell the entire truckload in an entire weekend. And I did that when I was a little kid and sold lettuces to grocery stores, like organic lettuces before the FDA said that we didn't do it the way you were supposed to because we were just a family business, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, and so yeah, we just lots of businesses, and so I knew what poor was. So I know what broke. I know what broke is being like, and broke is you can have really good life being broke, and so you don't need to have things to, have good relationships and family and that type of thing. And so yeah, all the family has just, even the girls, like just a lot of entrepreneurs.
That's fantastic. And having that experience growing up where you had to, as a kid, you had to start earning money. You had to do things most kids don't have to do.
I paid for my own mission. My grandpa did help me with that. Paid for my own college, my own way. I did school and work since I was like a teenager.
How valuable is that? How valuable is the fact that you had to do that yourself?
Yeah. I learned at a very young age the value of work and how healthy it is for your body and your mind. Um, and so I learned to actually enjoy working at a very young age. I actually really love working,
Hmm.
um, which is actually very fascinating because later in my journey, what happened. But I got really good at working, which served me very well. Allowed me to get ahead in a lot of areas of life, financially speaking.
Yeah.
Um, but also any virtue can be a vice. And anyway, I can talk about that more later. But yeah, so how did that serve me? Um, yeah, I'm not only not afraid of hard work, like, to be honest, I've had to learn how to develop hobbies and interests outside of work because
Not work.
not
You've
work
had to learn
because
how to not work.
I've had to learn how to not work,
Yeah.
because I really it comes so easily to me. I've had to learn how to develop interests of music and not had to, I've wanted to, but yeah. So that has been the benefit. Um, that has been a huge blessing
Hmm.
in my life.
That's fantastic. And and we were talking beforehand about how through this in the last 2 or 3 years, you've gone on a different journey, an emotional journey,
Yes.
a mental journey, a spiritual journey.
Yes.
And yeah, let's dig into that. And I love this idea that any virtue can become a vice when it's taken to the extreme.
Yep.
And so I'd love to dive into your journey around how you came to be the Dallin of today. Not the
The real
Dallin,
me. The
but
more of the real me.
the authentic Dallin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So backstory would be this virtue of me working hard. Um, so I'll call it God. But I had very strong impressions from a very young age that I would have resources so that I could help other people. Right.
Hmm.
Well, my hardworking, uh, driven, disciplined, motivated version of me said, "Oh, well, that means that I need to work at the cost of everything." Right? That's what the meaning my brain assigned to it. And so I went many years of like, I did sales for a lot of years, getting through school and worked 60, 70-hour work weeks. When I did sales, I traveled all the country. Um, and then I ended up building a company. We had $20 million of private equity funding that was funded into our company, Cove Security. Co-founded that company with some other people, really smart people. And I'm still working a lot. But then somewhere around 7 years into our marriage, um, I had like this strong impression that God said, "You're losing your family. You don't even know it."
Hmm.
I was so mad. I was like, "Why in the world would you say that to me? Like everything I've done was for them." And I was mad for days. Um, I finally humbled myself and said, "Okay, am I doing losing my family? Like, am I like not prioritizing things that actually matter?" When I got really honest with myself, I realized I was not actually doing it for them. That took me years to realize.
That all of the hard
It
work,
was for me.
all of the
It was for me. For my own personal security, my own insecurities, my own lack of feeling like I had to have resources because I didn't have it growing up. And it was not about them. It was about me. And then I worked on myself. Like after that, I started like really trying to be deep present with my family and try to be available. And I worked as hard as I could. I remember coming home for years and praying before I walk in the house and say, "Dear God, please help me to be present with my family. Like I don't know how to do this, you know." And my parents were just trying to survive, so like they did their best to be present, but they were just surviving. Right? I was thriving in a lot of areas in my life, and so just particularly in my career. And so I really want to be there for my family. Um, but I did make some changes over time.
and can
Yes.
we just back up because something you said is so important is that you had this message
Yes.
from God that said Dallin, you're losing your family. You don't even know it.
Yes.
And a lot of people may get that type of message
Sure.
and absolutely do nothing with it,
Sure.
because that's all you know is to work hard, and that's, I'm seeing success and look at all the great things that are coming from this, but yet they don't have the courage to take that step. If someone's out there right now listening to this and they hear this message and they felt it themselves, what advice would you give them to be able to say, okay, this is going to be so hard, this is going to hurt, this is going to take everything I have, but I'm still going to do it?
Mm.
What would you tell that person that's listening that says, man, I want that, but I don't know how? I
Mm.
don't know how.
One, I would say two things. No, three things. One would be, do you have a desire? So you've heard the thought or the message of like, I need to change my life, whether it's not being present with my family or whether it's God is asking me to do something that's way bigger than me, or like whatever it is, like, do you have that desire to act on it? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I took me a while to get to a place of desire, like days of not being angry, and then probably weeks before I actually had a place of desire.
So you got the message, days of anger,
Sure.
like, why would you tell me this?
Yes.
I don't want to hear this message.
No, yeah. Like,
And then after that, after you got over the anger, it was still weeks after that.
yeah, until I got to a place of like actually wanting it. So that'd be one, is come to a place of desire. We weren't beings. We weren't put here to like, if you believe in a higher power, like to just like being forced or coerced or manipulated to do things. I really believe in the value of choice.
Yeah.
Like, it is so important that you choose. It is so, you don't have to do anything. No one's going to make you. No one's going to make you change. No one's going to make you experience the freedom that's possible. No one's going to help you make you be happy. First is desire. Have a desire. Like, learn to let that desire work within you and just let it be. And then when it does, then step two is, I'll just tell you my journey, what happened. So
yeah, please.
I'll tell you the long way I did it and then the fast way.
Okay.
The long way is I spent years trying to be the person, like showing up as a dad and while still providing for my family, and I did make some progress. It was slow, but it was progress. And then the 4th of July, a couple years later, I had made some progress, but I still wasn't the person I knew I wanted to be, like not the real me. Showing up as a dad and a husband and a father, still excelling in my career. And it was the 4th of July. So this is point 2. You can do it the hard way, which is the way I did it. Hopefully you'll learn from my mistake, which is just try to do it on your own. You can do it on your own. You can. You will get there. You will get there. But that's a really slow way, and it's grinding and it's hard. And I would not advise that way personally. If I had to do it over again, I would have done different, but obviously it's my perfect journey. Anyway, and then it was the 4th of July. I dropped my family off for the 4th of July, and I drove to work because like we'd built this company to almost 2 million a month in revenue. We had over 60 people in multiple states and countries, and I had a lot of obligations that were my responsibility. And I felt like I couldn't choose the life I had, even though I could, but I believed I couldn't. Anyway, and then I went to work and I left my family at the 4th of July party. And I didn't come home until 10:30 at night. And when I drove home
after fireworks,
after fireworks, it was over. I was driving home. It's one of the few times in my life that I like swore in my mind. It's like, what the beep are you doing? This is not the person you want to be. You've been spending years trying to do better. There's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way than what you're doing it. And then that would be this third thing, is find you want to do it the fast exponential way. You can grow really, really quickly. Find someone who can help you. Like someone who's already done it, been there, right? They've experienced it. They know how to help you. They have the tools, the frameworks. Find someone who can. Because then I started doing that. I started finding people who could help me. Hired one coach, made massive changes. Hired another coach from of a company, and they helped me transition from that company to VidAngel, from COVID to VidAngel, because I was kind of attached there because I had a decent amount of equity there and I couldn't leave. And so they helped me transition away. And then the last coach I've had, which we don't have to get into that one yet, but yeah, I had coaches who helped me turn decades I've learned to days, where I learned more.
Literally 10 years into days.
Yeah, like literally, like I have learned, discovered, been taught, grown into who I really am in my career, as a father, as a husband, myself, my confidence, my belief in myself. Like my career used to be my identity.
Yeah. I
Like
know that. Oh,
that was
boy.
me. You know the feeling? Like
I
this
do.
is where my
I
value
do.
is. Like, and that was most of my life. And I've made more progress in the past couple of years as starting getting coaches, right? Last few years than I did in the previous 3 decades combined.
Hmm.
Right? And it's not even by a close margin. We're talking like 10x more type growth. To where yeah, it's that would I would say so. One is have a desire to someone. If you have that feeling like I need to change or God's asked me to do this or whatever, just be, it's okay. Just come to a place of desire to where you actually want to do it. And then 2 is you can, as long as you're willing to decide to do it, you can do it. You can do it. It will take you years to do it. And that's what I did for years or decades to do it. Which is useful. You can do that. And the third one is I would say, I would recommend find someone you could trust, someone you resonate with, someone who could help you and support you. Like in 2025, I feel very grateful. I've been blessed with these resources. They're not mine, they're God's, to be clear. But I'm very grateful I've been blessed with them. I invested more in coaching in 2025 than I did in my entire college degree in 1 year, because of the amount of change and transformation that's possible when you have someone who is helping you be real and don't deceive yourself and don't lie to yourself and
Yeah.
hold yourself accountable and actually has the tools and principles to help you. So,
And how did that compare to the college degree?
I got a degree in accounting from UVU. I actually very grateful for it. I would say the difference between college degree and coaching. College helped me connect with good people. Coaching and learning these principles frameworks helped me connect with aligned people. People align who I am and who they are. Like it just aligns. College helped me to think critically, right? I learned to think really critically, which is really valuable. Coaching helped me how to think for myself, right? And not for myself, meaning think in a different way of thinking. College, one other comparison I would make, would probably be a big one, would be college helped me see possible doors. Like, oh, look at all that's possible, right? You could do this, you could do this, do this. Coaching helped me actually open the doors. In fact, not even open, go to the doors that already are open, right? The hidden opportunities, the opportunities that will open when you don't know they're open and they just come to you.
I have a good friend, Mark Beatty, who said there's a few types of people in the world: those that don't see opportunities, those that see opportunities and don't take them, those that see opportunities and take them, and then those that make opportunities.
And I totally agree with that sentiment. And I would even go a step further: is there are opportunities that are hidden that you don't even know are there. And these opportunities that are there, like these open door opportunities, take them, like go create them, is let them just come to you. When I say come to you, meaning you be the person that aligns to where the opportunities that were normally hidden open, and then you make it happen.
Yeah. And let's get into that a little bit. The law of attraction, because the law of attraction and the law of manifestation are just, they're twins. They're sisters in the realm of emotional intelligence and transcendence, really. And they kind of go along with abundance as well. And so, I've got the very firm belief that we attract what we hold.
Yes, 100%.
And what's inside is what comes to us.
It does.
And it's funny because
and the converse is true. What you hold inside, you actually repel certain things.
Ooh, go deeper on that.
Yeah. So if you I'll just give you a real life example. I believe for over 3 decades that people who had resources were manipulative, self-serving, and actually doing they had to cheat someone to get there.
So if somebody was wealthy, they are manipulative cheaters
Or liar.
or
So they had to do
liars.
something where they had to like take the rug underneath someone. You know what I mean?
That was your core belief.
That was my core belief. And because
Yeah.
of that, you can imagine the opportunities it repelled.
Hmm.
Because I could be around people who were successful. And even if I didn't say it, I had that energy of, you didn't actually earn this.
You lied, cheated, stole
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Are there people that do that? Of course there are.
Yeah.
But like, the truth is that there are people on both sides of the spectrum, right?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
people who do it totally honestly with high integrity and they create massive value in the world. They have resources. And there's also the converse. The truth is both, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I want to be around people who believe in like making an impact and doing good in this world. So that's an example of like repelling, where I would repel people in my life. And when I work through that belief, I can't even tell you the amount of opportunities and resources that start coming to my life.
And yeah, that is the difference between abundance and accumulation. There's those that live large. They are wealthy. They have lots of resources, lots of fancy things, but they live large to give large. Whereas accumulation says, I'm going to live large to get large. Look at how many watches I have, and Nikes, and cars, and boats, and houses, and helicopters. And look at me, look at me, look at me.
Sure.
Versus those people that say, you know what, I'm going to go big. I'm going to go big in this world, because the bigger I go, the more I can share.
Yes, the more I can serve people.
The more I can serve, the more I can be there for helping other people and serving a true purpose. But I can't do that without resources.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Covey, he would always say, no margin, no mission. If you can't make money, you can't serve the mission.
That's really beautiful.
And it's true. It's so funny when I've coached people. Most people have this idea that money is evil.
Yes, I used to believe that too.
And people are scared of actually getting money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had a friend, we went on a bike ride, a 75-mile bike ride together, up past Deer Creek and then back up to Utah County. And the entire time he's like, I feel so bad because I've got so much wealth. And he actually was very deprecating
Wow.
on himself, saying, I just feel horrible that there's all these people suffering in the world and I've got wealth. Like, why do I deserve this? Why? And he did really well.
Mm-hmm.
And just a great human, truly a great human. And as we biked along, we had the conversation of like, let's look at it from a different perspective. It's not something to feel bad about. It's something that is given to you so you can be a steward to help so many other people.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the ride, that shift had happened. And he looked at it and he said, you're right. This isn't a bad thing. This is a wonderful thing because, and he just started formulating these plans of, you know what, I could help this way and I could help this way and I could help this way. And that became his new mantra of money's not bad. It's what I do with it that's important. It's how I am a steward of that.
That's beautiful. So excited to see what he does.
He's already doing great things.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He actually not too long after that, he became a mission president.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just
so
doing
awesome.
some amazing, wonderful things.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. So this whole idea of attraction and not resisting the goodness in our lives. How often do we do that? How often do we resist? Hey, here comes something good into my life. No. That's, if there's a wealthy person trying to talk to me and all of these things, then I'm going to resist that because they're liars, cheaters, stealing, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Versus, I'm going to attract that. And I'm going to do it in a way that doesn't say anything about me, but uses me as a vessel.
Mm-hmm.
uses me as a way to help, do good, serve, to make a difference in the world.
Totally. Yeah, along those lines, like when I was um, making all these changes in my life and uncovering these lies that I believed in my subconscious and learn to rewire them in my brain and believe the truth. I was having all these successes, right, in my career and those type of things, and opportunities were opening and doors were opening, and um, yeah, there is a real power, an invisible power that we can't see, of where what we can conceive and believe, like truly believe in our hearts, we can create or bring into existence or attract to us. And the opposite is also true. Is what we say is not possible or can't be possible is you're also right. Right. I'm thinking of the quote from Henry Ford. He said, "Whether you believe you can or can't, you're right. Like it's true."
You're right. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. So how have you seen that? Like, not speaking theoretically,
Sure.
but very
Actually,
practically,
sure.
how's that changed in your life?
So, um, what has changed? So my career used to be my identity, right? That's what it used to be. And now it's just a means to be a means to an end to like help people, right? To like serve people in some capacity, whatever the capacity that is. And when I changed that belief, I started having people in a practical sense reach out to me on a regular, recruiters, other companies, and type of things, and ask for me to go work for them.
Hmm.
When I had all these people, this was probably a couple years ago, when all these people kind of asking for me to like help them in some way. Um, I began to like, oh, like, wow, that's a lot of opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of opportunity, but I just didn't feel aligned and I didn't take any of those opportunities. And then, because what I knew I wanted, what I really, really wanted, is I wanted to make a massive impact in the world the way I believe I was created to make, um, that I was made for. Like, it's who I really am, while also still being deeply present with my family. I wanted to do both. I wanted to show up very powerfully and be deeply present with my family while still having a massive impact in the world. And most of the opportunities that I look at had really good opportunity in terms of impact, but not necessarily the lifestyle in terms of impact of my home, right? Those type of things. And and I also wanted to work alongside people. That's one reason why I'm on this podcast, is like collaborate, work with in some way people that were deeply aligned with doing this work of uncovering their own internal resistance, their own limiting beliefs, and believing the truth. Because I was like, what would happen if I was just surrounded by people like that? That's the question I was asking myself. What would happen if I was just surrounded by people who like did this? I'm like, my whole world would change, because I was surrounded by really good people. To be clear, some very talented. All the people. This is no discredit to people I worked with. Like, the people I worked with are very talented, very smart, but they're not deep in doing this work about uncovering the lives they believe in every aspect of their life, right? And so I wanted to be deep present with my family. I wanted more peace, purpose, and presence at home, and all areas of my life. I wanted to make a larger impact in what I was made to create. And then three is work with people, alongside people that believed in the same things I did, right? Alignment. And
Mhm.
so what happened is, a couple of years ago, people started asking for my help, and I'd be like, sure, I'll help you. And like, I didn't really think much about it, to be honest. And I started coaching people and watching them get results through these frameworks and principles of uncovering these limiting beliefs and rewiring them in the brain, the subconscious, like in a moment, like really quickly. And I watched them get results in their personal life, in their family, in their career. And I was like, wow, this is like pretty big, right? And then around a year-ish ago, I had a realization, because I started helping people who were like founders of early stage companies. And some of them I was trading like equity for service, right? I
Mm.
would do coaching and they would do equity in the company. And I started to realize, like, oh my gosh, I could help a lot of people, right? I can make a huge difference and really bless people's life, while only working a few hours a week, while versus working a full-time job. I'm like, oh, this is how I could do it. This is how I could do both. This is how I can have it all. Because I didn't used to believe you could have it all, but I truly believe you can have it all. When I
Mm.
say it all, you can have the massive impact in your career. You can be deeply present with your family, and you can do what you were like made to do. You can do all of it simultaneously. And yeah, and then 7 months ago, I knew it was time for me about to leave my previous company, VidAngel. We helped grow, which was a blast. That was an awesome experience. I love the team. And since then, God has just been opening doors of people who want to be free of suffering. They're
Hmm.
tired of believing lies. They're tired of being driven by status and stress and overwhelm and shame. They just don't want it. And people keep coming to my life that want this type of freedom. And I continue to find people who, or they find me, or vice versa, and helping people. And real life application is like, I am performing at the highest level I have in my entire life and career.
Hmm.
That is what's happening. And the truth is, because it's not actually me. It's not me. Like, I'm just a vessel of an instrument, I like to view it as, of true principles that can change people's lives. That's all I am. And I have a analogy that really feels really useful to me, of how people are so different, but they can bless the world in different ways. If you like a prism, if you shine light through it, it will
Crystal.
refract, or crystal, or
Yeah.
or a crystal. If you shine light through it, it will refract different colors, right?
Yeah.
I might refract one color, but I'm still a vessel of impact. You might refract a different color, but you're still a vessel of impact, and this person might refract a different color. It doesn't really matter. The point is we're all refracting the same source
Hmm.
of truth and light, and it can come in so many forms.
That resonates.
And I'm in the business of finding people who are also deeply aligned with just living and believing truth, right? And not believing the lies that society and the world tells us that is or isn't possible, that you can't have massive impact while still being deep present with your family. You can. Like, you can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. It's so
Yeah, I
true.
think about you. Like, you tell me your stories of the things that you're doing, and I'm just like, what would happen if there were 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 or a million or 10 million people who are all living this way, or 100 million who are all deeply present with their families while making massive impact in this world? It would literally change this world.
It would. It absolutely would. And it's funny because when we talk about this energy of people that are purpose driven, that have this life of, I want to be a steward, I want to be a vessel, I want to help people, serve people in the world, and the frequency, the vibration of their lives, it's so fun because everyone's heart, the human heart, produces an electromagnetic wave.
Right.
You can measure it. You go to the hospital, you do an EKG, they can tell you the frequency, the magnetism of your heart. And our hearts actually magnetize together. And most people, and again, this is not woo-woo,
No, it's just what
weird
is. It's what
stuff.
happens.
It's science. Most people have an electromagnetic field from their heart about 3 to 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, you can measure their electromagnetic field up to 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about, okay, I walk into a room and there's just this person that's magnetic.
Mhm.
That's literal. That is
Yes, it is.
absolutely literal. They are magnetic because they've got this energy that is produced from their heart, literally from their heart, that attracts people to them,
Mm-hmm.
that magnetizes people to them. And that's why the 20-second hug is so important. That's why I don't know if I told you this, but my Patty and I, we dance every night
That's awesome.
before we go to bed. We put on a love song
And just dance.
we press our hearts together.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And we lock them together, that magnetic click of our hearts together.
You get vibrationally in sync.
And then we just sway back and forth and look in each other's eyes, and it's amazing because there is something so real there. but there is a true energy. And if you've ever studied David Hawkins and his work with letting go and surrender and all of that work,
Yeah.
he created the emotional frequency
Right.
scale.
Right. Right.
And at the very bottom is shame,
Sure.
and apathy is right above that and working its way up. But in his estimation, and I don't know, I haven't been able to study this and it's kind of hard to study, but he said that there was a switch in society, that in the 70s, they actually switched to being a negative frequency into just barely over positive.
Fascinating.
And as a globe, as a collective globe
Interesting.
of humanity. And yeah, I would love to study that more. But his point is that with this enlightenment, with the ability to say, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to let go of my fear, let go of my anxiety, let go of my resistance, let go of all these things and surrender to what is. Surrender to God, surrender to the present moment. That when we do that, we find true connection. And then when we do that, all of a sudden our frequency gets higher and higher and higher. And through that, yeah, just like you're saying, we attract that kind of person.
Yeah, the fascinating thing is I have found that people believe they want time freedom and money freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they believe they want. Like resources to do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, and the time to be able to go do whatever they want, whenever they want. That's what they believe they want.
Mm-hmm.
They get one or both. And I can't even tell you how many people who are very wealthy that I know that have one or both, and they're not as happy and fulfilled as I thought they would be. They're not.
Yeah.
What people actually want, truly what they want, is they want peace in their soul. They want presence in the things that actually matter.
Yeah.
They want purpose beyond them. And the byproduct of that type of living is you have higher performance in all areas of your life, whether your family, your career, or whatever. And I like to call it prosperity, which is just another form of legacy or impact. That's true freedom. True freedom. That's what people actually want. They may or not know it, but they do actually want that.
I love that you said that because I had the opportunity to be part of this group, and there's an amazing speaker, Jeff Griffin. I don't know if you know Jeff.
Mm-mm.
He was actually on the show, and he asked the question. He said, "What is success?"
Yep.
And I'll ask that question to you. What? And I'd love two answers.
Yes.
One is Dallin from 10 years ago,
Mm.
and one is Dallin from today.
What is success from 10 years ago? Very different answer. What is success today? 10 years ago, my success is determined by my bank account, my title, my position, my influence of people, what they thought of me and how they viewed me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. I used to believe all those things. It's crazy just to think about.
I resonate with that so much.
Yeah, like that. That was mine. That was I view success. Today, I view success as, I could summarize it in this: the highest measurement of success is the quality of your closest relationships with yourself, with God, your higher self, and with others. Your true authentic self. That is your highest measurement of success. Anything else is awesome and a gift, but that is, in my mind, the highest measurement. Highest measure of success is relation with myself, my true authentic self, with God, and with the people around me that I love. That is my highest measurement of success.
That's amazing. It's so funny that we came to a very similar conclusion. I was the same. Success to me was how many trophies on the trophy shelf.
Yep.
How many magazines could I be in? How many people could see me on TV? That was my definition of success. And it was funny because he asked this question. I hadn't thought about it for years. Like, what is success? And everything from the past just dissolved. It just faded so fast. And the one thing that came to the top was, I believe that success for me today is surrender.
Mm.
And you think, wait, surrender. That's not a goal. That's not a destination. That's not that to me is success when I can surrender. So when I can surrender to God and let Him use me, when I can surrender and say, I'm not going to audition for the lead role in my movie anymore because I was auditioning so strong. And the funny
Mm-hmm.
thing is, I never got the part.
That is funny.
I was like, I'm going to be the lead role in this movie and it's my movie. And I realized I could just be a supporting actor in the greatest story ever told.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized that, when I surrendered to that, everything changed.
100% agree. Yeah, that surrender is it's a fascinating dichotomy because when you truly surrender, you actually learn and discover that anything you dreamed that you thought would be success or achievement or whatever, that surrender is actually giving you the highest fulfillment, peace, purpose. Like it's better than anything you can ever imagine. And that surrender is not it's really easy to say to do, but is the most rewarding, beautiful thing to say. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And then try to lead a path that leads that way.
Wake up every morning and say, where do you need me today?
Yeah.
And it's amazing because much of the beauty in life is found in the paradox.
Yes, it is.
We want a goal so badly, but to get that goal, we have to give up the goal. And all of a sudden it's like, wait, how does this even work? How can I get to where I want to be without, holding so tightly to that? And I think part of that is the principle of unattachment.
Mm-hmm.
Is we form beliefs, and this is kind of like what you were talking about before, all these beliefs from the past of I have to be this amazing cool guy entrepreneur, and
Right.
I've got to have a huge bank account, and I've got all of these things that we attach to. And what people don't talk about when they talk about attachment is the other side, is what are we attaching to? I attach all of these trophies on the trophy shelf to what? To my worth.
Mm-hmm. Yep, your worth and value.
Is that's what I'm attaching to all these things. If I have a big bank account, I must be worth something because
My bank account says so.
yeah, money is worth something. If I have all these trophies and titles and all of this, and I'm worth something, and truly letting go of all of the attachment and saying, actually, there's a different place where I find my worth. And that's with God.
Mm-hmm. Totally true. True story. I won't say who, but there's a guy that I didn't know personally, but he's an acquaintance of someone I know. He was attaching all of his worth to achievement, titles, income. I think he got to a point where he was making like $1 million a year. Like he was, that's very, very well. That's like what, top 4%, top 1%? I don't even know.
Oh yeah.
And he had the wife, the family, the kids, everything, right? But because his worth and value was attached to that so much, believing that lie, right? That is a straight up lie. Um, he ended his life
Mm.
right before an event that he was going to speak at in the hotel room.
Mm.
And like none of these things actually have value. Not really. Not really. And if we're really honest with ourselves, we know it. We know they don't. And yeah, 100% agree with you. Just how we attach our worth, our value. And as that's an extreme example of someone who touched to the point that they didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that story repeats and repeats and repeats. Yeah.
And sometimes we attach to the past.
Mm-hmm.
We attach, well, I did this in the past, therefore I am that person.
Right.
My identity is attached to that little kid, that 8-year-old or 12-year-old or whatever it was. And sometimes we don't like that. Sometimes we think, oh, I am that kid that stole the cookie from the cookie jar or punched the kid on the playground or whatever it
Right.
was.
But it's not actually you. It's just what the meaning, the belief and meaning you assign to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is letting go of all the attachments, except for one, except for one,
Yep.
and knowing that's enough, knowing that that's enough. Yeah. And at that point, it's no longer even attachment. It's just connection.
Yes. Yes. I have found that this life is just, it's not a journey of trying to get to a specific destination. I really believe it's a journey of returning, returning to us, who we really are and who we were made to be, and letting go of those attachments, those parts of us that aren't actually us. It's a return. And when we come from that place, life just tends to flow. And it's just fun, like it's just fun. It's just like fun living and being alive. And like, distinctly remember the previous version of me. I come home, the feeling when you go on vacation
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
and you're trying to escape from living
Uh-huh.
and you come home and you're like, oh, I got to go back to real life. That was my entire life almost. Now, last 2 times I went on vacation, 3 times. I come home and I'd ask myself, is there any resistance in my soul to make it to where I wouldn't want to come home, right? Am I creating the type of life that I want to live in? And there is nothing more beautiful than just being like, no, I love my life the way it is, exactly the way it is. Not because I'm perfect, not because I have all the answers, not because I'm doing everything exactly the way I wish, that's not that. It's because I'm allowing like God and other people to influence me in ways that allow me to have the impact I was made to have, and that just a higher purpose beyond me. And yeah, I just love being alive every day. It's just a gift. It's truly a gift.
It really is. And I believe that we're supposed to experience joy
We are.
every day.
We are.
Not after pain,
Right.
during pain, that we can experience that joy. And we don't have to live a life of misery.
No, we don't.
It's
I used to believe that actually. I used to believe that I actually had a belief system I was meant to suffer.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
subconsciously, I believe that I was made to suffer,
yeah.
which
Yep.
is a flat out lie.
It is such a false belief.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And so you've been on this journey now for a few years.
Yep.
This new journey.
Yep.
And with this new journey, every time we talk, there's definitely a high vibration.
I know. It's like we're like talking. We're both like, what's gonna happen? Like, what are we gonna do?
What mysteries of the universe are gonna be?
I know. It's exactly what it feels like.
It's awesome. And with counterfeit emotions, there's one emotion that has no counterfeit, and that's peace. And where does Dallin find peace?
I find peace probably in 3 things. One, uncovering any resistance in my soul and believing the truth. That's one. That brings me so much peace. Uncovering, letting go, stop believing the lies, and believing the truth. That brings me so much peace. 2, doing what I was made to do. That brings me so much peace when I feel like I have moments. Like when we went to lunch together, like it was just like a moment and I was just like it was so special, like that connection together, right? And it's just like, this is what I was made to do, like to have these type of connections.
Yeah.
That'd be 2. And 3, learning and discovering with that resistance and discovering those lies that I believe, surrendering to whatever God wants me to do.
Mm.
Whatever he wants is better than anything I could ever imagine. I believe I know what he wants for me. But that would probably be the thing that gives me the most peace is like just complete surrender. Because when you learn to let go, that's when he like starts just bringing things into your life because anything you thought should happen or needed to happen, he had something way better planned for you. So I would say those three things. Those bring me the most peace.
I feel that. I feel that. And thank you for sharing that with our guests.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us one more week on the Counterfeit of Emotions podcast. And if you find this content to be helpful, if you find the ideas around counterfeit emotions to serve you in your life, make sure to hit the like and subscribe. Make sure that you share this with a friend, especially those that are struggling. Let them know that there is a better life out there by tapping into the authentic and finding that one emotion that can't be counterfeited, and that's peace. Until next week.